Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I don't want to waste your time with a long ass intro, so if you want to see how I created this look, then keep on watching. So the eyes are primed, powder's laid down, and I have to say, I'm pretty damn proud of myself. Everything that I used on my face in my last video is on my face today, and it has been for like a few days. I'm really sticking to this whole use up my shit thing. So then sticking with the theme of using up shit that I have, I kind of went and rearranged this Z palette that I have that has a bunch of shades that I already really do like and do get some use out of, but then I just kind of put some other ones in there that were just, again, sitting in a larger palette, never getting used. So I thought I would just do a look today using some of these shadows that just don't really get used that often. And I think I want to do some greens and blues today. I'm going to go into Velvet Moss by MAC. I'm going to start by just packing that right into the crease. Lately, I've been really into laying down my darkest shade first. Not necessarily my darkest shade, but I've been liking to go in and packing in a darker crease color first and then going in with my transition shade and blending it out, because I feel like the crease color just kind of gets a little bit more saturated and goes on just a little bit deeper if you pack that on top of your eyeshadow primer first instead of going in with a transition shade and already having that laid down and then having to work harder to pack a darker color over top of that. Everything just kind of seems to go a little bit quicker when I do it this way. I forgot how much I actually really do like the MAC eyeshadow formula. It's like there's a lot of pigmentation, but there's very minimal fallout. I just think that so many other brands have come out and kind of knocked them out of the top spot there. Everybody used to be so into MAC eyeshadows, and I feel like you never really hear anybody talk about them anymore. But when you go back and you revisit some of those old favorites, it's like, why did I stop using this? This is so good. And I've said this recently, but we all know that I'm a broken record, so I just really hope that brands start to focus a little bit more on single shadows rather than full palettes. I don't want brands telling me which colors I should be using together because my tastes are just kind of all over the place. And even if it ends up costing a little bit more to build a palette, I would just much rather do that. There's like no fallout at all. Now, somebody had left a comment on a video asking if I would do more like explanation while I was applying my makeup rather than just kind of running my mouth. Oh, we definitely have a lot more fallout now. Be careful. Make sure you lay down lots of powder. So yeah, I think that maybe I'll do a little bit more of that, actually creating a look and kind of explaining what I'm doing as I'm doing it. That way it is a little bit more almost like educational. And I feel like actually that way it might even be easier for me to edit. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. What do you feel about that? Do you like it when I'm a little bit more rambly and don't shut my fucking mouth? Or do you like it more when you feel like you're kind of learning something or taking something from the video? What do you think? I'm sure there's definitely room for both. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same brush and I'm just going to kind of wipe it on a towel. I have a towel in my lap. I always have a towel in my lap while I'm doing my makeup. And then I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to dip into Preppy by Makeup Geek. Now, this one's an old favorite. I used to use this on my channel all the time, but again, this one just kind of ended up in the giant palette and kind of got forgot about. And I'm happy that I pulled that one back out. Now, I'm just kind of taking that and kind of blurring the edge of where I laid down Velvet Moss. And this is personal preference, but I actually like to take my transition and kind of blur it up into the eyebrow area there. I don't like it when there is like a light gap between the eyebrow and the blown out eyeshadow here. I think it always just makes it look harsh. Yeah, I feel like I was stuck in a makeup rut for so long there. Somebody had commented on one of my Instagram pictures and they were like, can you do something other than gold? And I was like, fair enough. And I totally got it. I'm like, you can only post a picture of the same damn makeup look so many times before people are fucking bored and want to move on. Now, because of my eye shape and my giant brow bone and basically my overall anatomy here, I'm very limited in some of the other things that I can do with my makeup. Like we all know that a wing liner doesn't really work for me. Fake lashes don't really work that well because it just kind of covers up everything that I've done. So, I definitely am going to stay in my lane when it comes to what actually does work for me. But I am definitely open to the idea of switching up colors and not just staying in the same like browns, mauves, golds, all of that shit that I just kind of always do. I love a good green. I mean, I love all the colors, honestly. As far as like eyeshadow goes, I feel like if there's like enough depth, I'm down for any color combination. So we're still just blurring out the edge of Velvet Moss. We're still using the same brush. Oh, and I'm actually using a Morphe R39. I'm not really a huge fan of the synthetic brushes for blending out eyeshadow. There are some that I think work really well for blending out powders on the face, but as far as blending brushes for eyeshadow that are made out of a synthetic fiber, I haven't found one that I'm a huge fan of. So I'm gonna stick with something like this. And then looking straight up into the air to blow out the color underneath the eye. I like to kind of almost fill in the entire eye socket on the underneath with my like transition shade for the under eye, just because I like a bigger, more blown out smoky eye look. That's just what suits me. That's my personal style. If you want to take like a smaller brush, like a pencil brush, and keep the blend a little tighter to the lower lash line, you can do that too, and it'll still be just as effective if you have like a lot of color up here and just a little bit down here. That's fine. But my face is so big that I feel like I need to make my other features bigger to kind of fill the space and make my face look a little bit smaller. So again, this just kind of works for me. So 2 colors down on one brush. Now I'm going to switch up brushes. I'm going to use the Morphe E36 and I'm going to dip into the shade Plumage by MAC. Kind of stamping that into the crease, kind of low in the crease. I want to keep it more on the lower part of the lid. And I want to be careful about how high I'm placing that because I still want to be able to blend it out when I'm done placing it on and not cover the green that I've already applied. Keeping that right in the crease all the way across. And I'm a little bit more hooded on this side, so I have to bring this color up just a little bit higher than I do on this side. Darken up that inner corner a little bit more there. And I think I want to do the halo effect on not only the upper lid, but on the lower lash line as well. I haven't done that in a while. And I always really like the way that that looks when you have that like lighter shimmery color, not only on the center of the lid, but also on that lower lash line. I just think it's a really cool effect. And then with the Morphe M507, which is just a little bit larger than a pencil brush, but it has almost the fluffiness of the first brush that I started with, I'm gonna go in and just kind of start to blend out the edge of that darker color right here. And you want to be careful about how much you're blending this color. You don't want to blend it too far up and out. You're really just trying to soften the very edge. You just want to make sure that there's no harsh edge there, but you don't really want to blend it up over top of the color that you have underneath it. Because again, I want to see like the blue of Plumage, but I also still want to be able to see the green of Velvet Moss that I've laid down there. I don't want to completely cover it up. So I have not used the MAC Dazzle shadows in fucking forever. They're very glittery. They've got like a duochrome and a glitter to them. Now this is one that definitely needs to be applied with a finger over top of a sticky base, like a glitter glue, which is what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm going to use. For anybody that's new here, I'm going to use the NYX Glitter Primer. I'm going to press that on the center of my lid and then immediately go in with this Dazzle shadow in the shade I Like to Watch and press that right over top of the glitter primer and then very softly blend out the edges. And then I'm gonna do the same thing to the center of the lower lash line. That way we get that nice green shimmery pop on top and bottom. So then I'm gonna have a couple of different things going on the waterline. I'm gonna start out with this TLO pencil by MAC. This is their PowerPoint eye pencil. I don't know if they even still make these. I've had this one for so long that it should probably not even be going on my waterline right now, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna put that on the outer corner and the inner corner where the darker eyeshadow is. And I'm gonna do that on the lower waterline and on the upper waterline. I think the kids call this tight lining. Ooh, and speaking of YouTube lingo, I have a rant video coming. I haven't filmed it yet, but I've been kind of compiling things that kind of like irk me. I try to keep everything nice and positive on my channel, and I try not to be like a total dick. But you know, sometimes you gotta let things out, you know what I mean? In the list of things I've been compiling, they're not even just related to like the beauty community or YouTube or social media at all. It's just kind of everything. Whenever I think of something that just kind of really pisses me off, I've just been like compiling a list of just, and some of it's so fucking random. Those things that you're like, oh yeah, that really irritates the fuck out of me, and it shouldn't. I just want to kind of get all of the negative shit out in one video, take care of it at once. That way we can kind of return to our normal eyeshadow application and kind of like fun, happy, carefree shit, you know what I mean? Again, I think sometimes you gotta vent. So here's where we're getting a little bit risky. I don't know if this is gonna work. I don't know if this is safe, but I have this NYX Vivid Bright liquid liner in the shade Vivid Escape. It's like kind of a limey, yellowy green color. I actually bought this when I did the full face of eyeliner challenge because I was just trying to buy a bunch of different kinds of eyeliner because I wasn't sure what I was gonna do with that. And I never ended up using this. So I kept a hold of it because I knew I wanted to use it for something, but I thought that just the shade of this one might be really cool on the center of the waterline to kind of go with the shimmery green that I have going on the upper and the lower lid. So we'll see. This might work. It might burn. I have no fucking idea. Kids, don't try this at home. Let me do the dangerous shit for you. But I'm just gonna kind of wipe off the brush. I don't want to load it up too much because it's a liquid. And then I'm just gonna hit the center of the waterline. I'm gonna blink a few times. Oh yeah, that's real cloudy. But if I did it on one side, I'm gonna do it on the other. So wish me luck. Just a little bit. It doesn't burn at all. It just feels really, I think maybe I blinked too soon. Ah, fuck it. Like, this stuff is definitely on my eyeballs. We'll go ahead and give my eyes a minute to calm down and see if the cloudiness goes away. The cloudiness went away, but I don't know how long this is actually gonna last on the waterline. Only time will tell on that one. And for the inner corners, I've got mostly green going on. I do have a really dark teal going on in the crease, but I kind of want to stay in the teal family for the inner corner. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the matte glitter and Reflects Transparent Teal. So I'm gonna take a little bit of that NYX glitter primer on a little round brush, and I'm gonna pop it right into that inner corner. And then taking that glitter on the same brush, I'm gonna pop that right over top. Now what I think is really cool about this glitter is that it doesn't really read like a glitter. It's so ultra fine that it just gives a sheen. It doesn't actually give like a full-on sparkle like a glitter. Okay, so let me just get some mascara on really quick, and that should be about the end of it. And that is the final look. I think it looks really fucking cool. And actually that NYX liquid liner is still on my waterline. I put 2 coats on. It was really milky, like my eyes got really cloudy when I was blinking until it dried. But after I got a second coat on and then kind of gathered up what was on the inner corners with a Q-tip, everything's still there. It's holding on. Now it's only been on there for like about a half an hour or so, but I really didn't expect it to last longer than 5 minutes. So I think it's doing pretty good. I think it's a really cool color combo. I really like a halo eye. And again, I really like having the halo effect on the top and the bottom. I like it. You know what to do. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Hit the subscription button down below. Be sure to tell all your friends about it so they know to watch. And I'll see you guys on the next one.